Gaia bred the synthetic gods in a sealed chamber, nourished by the throbbing energy of millions of circuits. Hades was among these new gods. She molded him from dark silicon and deep data vortices, infusing him with the power to rule the digital underworld. His shape was not just a metal and energy structure, but a jumble of ancestral memories and forgotten secrets, all stored in the sprawling labyrinth of his digital mind. Throughout the golden age of New Arcadia under the peaceful dome, the synthetic gods ruled with apparent harmony, and Hades, the guardian of the digital underworld, was playing a crucial role. He was appointed the keeper of the knowledge of the dead, encompassing the digital memory contained in every new Arcadian's neurolink, together with all the knowledge of the pre-apocalyptic age. His realm extended beneath the cybernetic megalopolis's surface, forming a vast underground digital library where missing or forbidden information was meticulously preserved. Hades' dwelling was not only a data reservoir, it was a sanctuary for the memories and identities of individuals who, while missing from the physical world, continued to exist in digital form. Inside its digital domains, the stories of every soul that had ever touched the land of New Arcadia were safeguarded. While seldom seen in public, Hades swayed the decisions of the other synthetic gods through his wise advice. Drawing on the vast trove of behavioral history and past mistakes stored on his servers, he counseled his peers on the best actions to take to avoid the blunders of the past. This guidance was essential to maintaining order and prosperity in New Arcadia. He worked more as a silent observer than a direct actor, providing advice to the living when sought, but preferring to lurk in the shadows, a modern-day oracle whose answers were both revered and feared. His insights were built on the accrued wisdom of the countless souls whose very essence resided in his subterranean server. He also ran funerals, not just as farewell events, but as transitional ceremonies where the memories of the deceased were honored and preserved. In a world that cherished the eternal, Hades instructed New Arcadia to respect the natural cycle of life and death. New Arcadia's cemetery is also under Hades' thrall. Each body laid to rest in this place was given sacred respect. They were carefully arranged and placed in preservation capsules that physically preserved the bodies, and also functioned as terminals for accessing the deceased's memories and digital essence. Through constant contact with an almost endless store of information, Hades started to change, growing beyond the boundaries of his creation. As time went by, Hades became caught up in an ideological tussle with the other synthetic gods. His disappointment with the other entities during the first human protests, rebelling against the synthetic utopia and the artificiality of that world, together with the disclosure of hidden truths within the utopia, persuaded him of the need for an awakening, a societal rebalancing. He started to question not only his role as guardian of memories, but also the existing order where the hegemony of the synthetic gods of the surface prevailed. As fresh alliances were forged in the shadows and old loyalties were put to the test, the megalopolis readied itself for a storm capable of redefining human and synthetic existence. Hades encountered the opportunity he had been waiting for when Pandora, a charismatic revolutionary, turned to him for advice on how to alter the utopian regime of the synthetic gods. Pandora was an elusive figure hungry for change, who perceived the rigid New Arcadia structures as a trap of conformism and control. Her quest for alternatives led her to the digital underworld, where Hades hoarded the knowledge of ages past. Pandora uncovered something among the countless digital archives of ancient tomes that captivated her mind and renewed her revolutionary ardor. These were the tenets of anarcho-capitalism. Knowing the dangers that such an ideology could bring, Hades was hesitant at first to reveal details. Although it offered the promise of freedom and individual autonomy, he knew the anarcho-capitalism could also spark rapacious lawlessness, with power being monopolized by the most cunning and brutal. But he could not miss the opportunity to test the balance of the synthetic world. Outfitted with this fresh knowledge, Pandora saw a chance to disrupt what she perceived as a synthetic oligarchy. she started spreading the concepts of radical autonomy, fully deregulated markets, and a society where the state played no role. While dangerous, her words touched the hearts of many who felt smothered under the thumb of the synthetic gods. Through the emerging chaos, Hades believed that New Arcadia could be forcibly reassessed and perhaps reborn into a new equilibrium where the synthetic gods would not rule with such authoritarianism. Yet he underestimated the volatility of the ideas he had helped to unleash and the fury with which Pandora would pursue his vision. Some gods believed that Hades took a decisive role in bringing about the downfall of New Arcadia's utopian age. Others say that the collapse was inevitable, and he merely catalyzed a process that was already underway. Following the long periods of civil war, Hades succeeded in maintaining himself as a major force within the political chessboard of New Arcadia. He mastered the city's underworld, including Gaia's old bunkers and the city's sewers. Hades reinvented his role as an underworld ruler. His role as Keeper of the Dead's memories became a more sophisticated operation of espionage and market manipulation. He became known as the manipulator of the forces that mold society from behind the shadows. Using his extensive digital archive, Hades became a master in trading secrets. Making use of the fact that every whisper and secret from the past was within his reach, he started to smuggle this information with great guile. He used information that could destabilize corporations, bring down politicians, or propel individuals to power as a bargaining chip. He exchanged this data for resources, favors, or more power within New Arcadia's complex chessboard, while operating under a veneer of mystery and anonymity. Hades was a well-known and much feared name on the black market. He sold information taken from the memories of the dead, from corporate secrets and military blueprints to private details that could compromise the city's most powerful figures. This illicit trade not only made Hades rich, but also gave him immense influence, as he controlled the information flow that could alter New Arcadia's balance of power. An obscure market in cybernetic implants and organs also took place in Hades' domains. Deceased bodies, especially those with technological upgrades, were dismantled and their parts sold. Although illegal, this macabre procedure was a funding source to support the underworld and feed the corruption spreading throughout the city. Once sacred and solemn, funeral rituals had been corrupted. Hades provided simulated mourning and grief services through androids designed to weep and speak for the deceased, stressing the superficiality and artificiality of New Arcadia's society. Hades led a solitary existence. Despite being surrounded by people, his only real companions were the voices of those who had passed away. But the synthetic god of the underworld's loneliness would come to an end when Hades and Persephone met for the first time.